Hey guys, I am out here at the airport and it is a somewhat beautiful day. I don't know if you guys can see the windsock. Wind's coming from kind of the southeast. We have runway 3618 and so today I'm going to be doing a video attempting the impossible turn. Now I know there's going to be a lot of comments on this video because every time I watch an impossible turn video, I go to the comments and I see them. And people, for some reason, either love that people are doing it to try it, or they hate that people are doing it and trying it. I'm comfortable in my airplane. If the engine shuts off, I'm not worried about it. But I will say, doing the impossible turn in an airplane like this is a little different than being in your Cessna 172 with your Lycoming engine. And the main reason is because when you pull the power back to simulate that emergency, you have this really large weed eater engine on the back of your plane. How many now obviously this is far more technical than your weed eater is. It's a great 503 Rotac's a great engine, but how many times in your life have you been using your weed eater and you like let off the throttle and then it dies, right? So the only time I've had this engine die on me was actually in the pattern when I pulled the throttle all the way back, and it did die on me, and that video is on my channel here. I actually have, because my buddy Ray was messing with it, I have a line right here. So that line pretty much keeps me at like 2,000 to 2,200 RPMs. My airplane actually doesn't go below that. We have it, the RPMs up a little bit. I will say, having had an emergency and engine out in this airplane, it's basically the same. Now I know, again, people are gonna argue with that and say, oh, you're wrong, and here's the science, and here's why. But when I lost my engine in Jacksonville, I feel like it was exactly the same as if the engine was at idle, which is what I will have it at for this. Is it possible the prop is putting up some resistance and slowing you down? I guess. Is it possible it's still pushing some? I guess. I don't know. As soon as you pull, another thing too, on an airplane like this, because that engine is back there, when you pull that power back, the nose actually comes up. Because when you're full throttle, the nose is down, it's pushing the airplane forward. So it's weird, when you lose the engine, the first thing that happens is the nose, it just wants to climb. So you have to push it down. So I'm going to be doing, to get back into what I'm doing, I'm going to get up in the pattern. I have supposedly eight knots of that odd wind from the south. So I'm going to get up and I'm going to start at 500 feet. And I'm going to pull the power back and I'm going to try to make a turn. I want to say, I am not a CFI. I am not training you how to do this turn. I've never even tried this turn in this airplane. I mean, I've messed around with the plane and been aggressive flying it around, but I've never tried a simulated impossible turn before. This is going to be my first time. But again, I'm not worried about it. I'm comfortable with the plane. I know what I can do with this plane. There's lots of fields around here. Not a CFI. This is not educational. This is entertainment purposes only. I will say, on a personal note, not CFI type note, because I'm not one yet, I probably would never do the turn. When I go to and leave an airport, I always look at my phone and I'll put it on the screen right now. What I do is I go to the airport that I'm going to fly to, or I'm leaving, if I'm not too familiar with it, and I click the button up there on the top right, and that turns it into satellite mode. And when I do that, I look all around the airport, and that's when I decide, okay, I'm going to be taking off in this direction because this is the wind that day. If I have an issue, I know I have to go right or left. I know what my first plan of action is going to be. I generally look at it and say, okay, there's 1,000 feet there. We know from my short field takeoff and landing video that I can land this thing at 150 feet, you know. Now, is that from over an obstacle? No. I would say over a 50, 60 foot obstacle is probably going to be more like 250, 300. But at the same time, if it's an emergency, you just get this thing on the ground. Just slam it, the gears, and get the nose down and slam on the brakes, you know. So anyways, that's what I do. I get on my phone and I look and I see, that's even when I'm in a 172 or the Cherokee. I always want to know, because you never know when that engine's going to shut off, and I'd rather be prepared. And I'm really picky about that when I have a passenger, because when I have a passenger, my glide ratio is not going to be as good as it is without. So today I will put the numbers on the screen here. So for you Challenger people, you know, the weight and balance on my airplane, give or take 465, probably, you know, 466. I did change the battery. I need to do another one. I have 8 gallons of fuel. I will put that. I can see I just filled it to 8 gallons, so I know that. And I weighed 238 as of this morning. So yeah, carnivore is working. So I'm gonna put those numbers on the screen, and that's what my numbers I'm gonna be working with. I will say I just heard these trees really go crazy up there. So I do know the winds are supposed to be 14 knots at 3,000 just out of the south. So I'm not gonna get to 3,000. I'll probably get to 1,500. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna get in the plane, and when I get out there, I'm gonna take off from runway 18. And the first one I'm going to do from 500 feet. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set my altimeter at 500 feet. And that way at 1,000 feet, I know to pull the power back and go ahead and make my turn back. If it's safe, I will continue doing it. If not, then I won't. And then the next one, I'll land and then go back and then do 400 feet. And then we'll just kind of feel it out from there, just so that people know. One thing too, I do have a long wing. There is a short wing version of this airplane. This is supposedly 11-to-1. But the short wing version of this airplane has less wings, so it's going to be supposedly 9-to-1. When I was looking for a Challenger, that was a big deal for me, the long wing, because I wanted glide ratio, because I put my kids in the plane. Now that I've had one, I can comfortably say I would probably get I wouldn't even mind having a clipped wing right now, if I had another one. So don't be scared of a clipped wing. Just know that, you're not going to, that this video might not apply as much to you. It's going to be awfully close, but not as much. So I'm going to get in the plane, and I'm probably not going to start talking and stuff until I'm about to take off, so that way this video is not a million miles long. If you haven't yet, please subscribe. It really helps me. Like and comment and all that stuff. Try to comment something positive, but if not, that's cool too. Just comment. It helps. All right, let's get her going. Losing weight. I've lost enough weight to where the plane doesn't want to come down. Holy crap. Never thought that would be a thing. I think it's the wind too, guys. The wind got a hold of me there. I'm not gonna lie, the wind's picking up. So we will see how this works out. Clear prop. Works. Sometimes the audio just doesn't work. Letting her get warmed up. A little higher RPMs than I normally do. Let's back it off here. That's all in. That's good. I'll probably have this camera facing down more towards my instruments. I'm going to do my field altitude just at 500 so that we can use this as a quick reference to 1,000. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. Yeah, so make sure everything's good to go here. Radios are good. Status is on. It is connected. Engine started right up. Sounded like she wants to go fly. All the gauges are alive. I do have a finicky EGT, but it comes up before I take off usually. Alright, we are free and correct. I am seatbelted in. And also, I don't ever put it on video, but I have my checklist on here, and so if you're watching my videos, just know that I don't actually keep the checklist.
The Athens traffic here, 0 Delta is going to be on about a 3-mile final for 18 traffic.
Okay, so I moved that camera more looking that direction. It looks a little twisted, but so now you should get an idea of what I'm seeing. I don't know which way I'm going to be going, depends on the wind. And Vakamu, yellow experimental 605 Bravo is going to back taxi runway 18, Vakamu. I don't see anybody on here. I don't see anybody on final. Alright, we're good to go. So run up was good. Everything looks good and everything feels good. My running brackets are still intact. Alright, so it has gotten a little windier. It said 8. It's kind of coming this way, so it could be kind of dangerous doing this, like if I actually had an engine out, because I'm going to have a huge tailwind. I don't mind landing fast, and I'll probably do a full simulated landing, and it's coming right up the pipe right now, so anyways, let's get out there. And so 500 feet, I set my altimeter at 500. At 1,000 feet, we'll pull her back and head back to the airport and see what happens. Again, it's not something I suggest, it's just something I'm doing because people want to see. Personally, I would just land in the field. Here we go. And Vakamu, Yellow Experimental 685 Bravo is going to be departing runway 18 and then turning back for runway 36 and a simulated engine out. Vakamu. Here we go. Oh, it's definitely rough. By the way, I'm going to be climbing at VX 50 miles an hour, or 50 miles per hour in my airplane. And actually, that's kind of hard to do because of how windy it is. Everything looks good. The funny part is I'm going to be way too high. I'm going to overshoot the runway at 500 feet, guys. Now, I'm actually going to turn into the wind kind of here when I get to 1,000 feet. And just show you guys, I'm actually not going to do it the full way, I don't think. But let's just say, I'm going to change, well, we'll do it at 1,000, hold on. All right, we're at 1,000 feet in about 5 seconds. Okay, that's good now.
Left base 18, negative.
Yeah, I would not normally turn to the left because the power lines are here. But guys, look at this. I know this sounds crazy and it's not fair because I have a headwind. I'm already over the airport. Like, I would have to circle. I'd have to do a circle to land at 1,000 feet. Alright, so this test really isn't fair because it's so windy and I'm climbing at such a high rate that there's no way for me to really give you guys the full deal in this video. So at this point, I don't even know if I'm going to be making this video. I might put this video out just to say, hey, we're going to eventually do this video. And Vakamu, Yellow Experiment 95 Bravo is going to be left base 18 Vakamu. Yeah, it's really windy up here, guys. Probably not the best for this type of video. Now, a plane like this, guys, it gets moved around a lot. And you'll make a correction sometimes, and you're like, why isn't the plane doing what I want it to do? You just gotta hold the correction there for a minute. It'll eventually happen, if you have faith. Yeah, it's really windy. It's a lot windier than it had called for, so I don't know if this video is going to happen, guys. See if I can land kind of short here. And ooh, the wind was like, no, you're not landing short. Alright, let's go around. Yeah, not a day for this, my friends. Not a day for this. Not a day, not a day. Well, the wind stopped. When I was on final, the wind stopped. And my airspeed just dropped, and I had to go full power, which I was aware that that could happen, so obviously I was waiting for it, but holy crap. And Vakamu, Yellow Experiment 95 Bravo is going to be left downwind for 1A, Vakamu. So now I'm going to have to carry power into my landing. Look at this. Oh, yeah, look at it. I'm just flying sideways. Yeah, not the day. Okay, so I'm making this video to tell you guys that I'm going to make a video showing you the impossible turn. And if you have a really big wind when you take off, the impossible turn is more than possible. As a matter of fact, you're probably going to have to do what I would suggest would be extending your upwind. You know, if you lose your engine, you look back, you're right over the airport, you kind of want to go a little bit forward, then turn around because you might run out of runway. Holy crap, man, I'm getting tossed. And Bakamu yells from Mayfly Bravo's left base, 18 Bakamu. What am I doing here? Alright, let's just get on the ground safely here. Yeah, it's a rough day, guys. A lot of, you know, this type of day really could scare somebody who doesn't have a lot of experience in these things. So, you know, if you have, imagine if you had a Challenger 1 and you weigh half as much as this plane does. You're going to get rocked out here. Look at this. I'm getting rocked. Holy crap. Come on. Alright, here we go. Come on. Come on. Get those rudders going. Get those rudders going. Get those rudders going. Pull the power back. Let's get on the ground. Let's get on the ground. Oh, we're going to bang a little bit. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Alright, guys. Not the right day for the impossible turn. Matter of fact, that was absolutely ridiculous. The weather was not calling for that at all. Well, let's make this video a video of why these type of airplanes are interesting and why a lot of general aviation pilots are scared of, or not scared, but just refuse to fly them. Because they can be, in the right scenario, can be really unsafe. Now, one thing is a caveat to this is, if I would have had a passenger in here, it would have been easier for me to accomplish these things. Because when you have a passenger, it's far more stable, you know, the heavier you are. Now, I'm not saying you want to get out there, you know, your max weight and then take on a bunch of turbulence, but it would have definitely been easier to keep the plane going. So, hey, sorry this video didn't turn out to be what you guys thought it was, but you know what? I'm still going to do that video at some point in time. So please, I'm still going to upload this because you know what? This is a learning experience. And everybody needs to understand that when you're flying, the weather's not always in your favor. This was not what it was called for. It's a lot worse right now than it was when I took off, or else I wouldn't. If it was like this, I wouldn't have taken off. So I'm sure I'll get some criticism for it, but go ahead, give it to me. Guys, please like and share, or you know, subscribe. That's the biggest thing. Subscribe to my channel, and that helps me, you know, get more followers and can make more videos. I don't get paid or nothing, but you know, it's just fun to do. So thanks, guys.